Guys, we have a serious problem. I heard or read somewhere that 80% of hunters that take the field each year miss their first shot on a big game animal. I don't know if 80% is accurate, but it's certainly the majority. To me, that's absolutely unacceptable. So I got to thinking, how can we improve the accuracy of hunters, especially new hunters, as quickly as possible? Of course, my mind went to picking the right gun, picking the right cartridge, and gun fit. Of course, getting to the range and practicing is always going to help as well. But there's one thing that might just be the cheat code, and I think I found it. So wait no more. What is it? Here it is. That's right, it is a trigger. So how can a trigger immediately improve your accuracy? Well, I wanted to find out myself, so I tested it. We started with a very quality trigger set at about 2.5 pounds, and I got a new shooter, Brooklyn, to go ahead and test it for us. She compared this trigger versus an upgraded aftermarket trigger, which was a Bixen Andy 2-stage trigger set at about 10 ounces. So substantially lighter trigger, and the results were shocking. You guys are gonna wanna see this, so let's head to the range and see how she did.
This is the first group, top left diamond.
Yard headshot. There you have it.
Do you want me to re-say it or no? Okay, this is the 400, we're at 400 yards. I'm shooting the right target, and this is with the lighter trigger. Alrighty, here we are at 400 yards. I'm shooting a group with the 2.5 pound trigger, and I'm shooting the left target.
All right, here we are down at the 400 yard paper target. So first group over here on the left was shot with the 2.5 pound factory trigger by Brooklyn. As you can see here, about just under a 5-inch group there. And then second group shot over here on the right We'll measure it later, but it looks to be between 2.5, 3 inches maybe. And this was shot with the lighter trigger. As you can tell, that is notable improvement. Substantially better. That being said, could just be the variance of the ammo. So Brooklyn, what did you think?
I thought shooting the heavier trigger was a lot more difficult because I found myself running out of breath before actually pulling the trigger. It just felt like it took a long time, and because of that, I felt like my aim was off, or like my aim moved. And then it was quite the opposite for the lighter trigger. Very easy to shoot. So based on how I felt, like, the results make sense to me.
All right, there you have it. All right, so you guys have seen her shooting so far with the 2.5 pound trigger, as well as the trigger with the 2-stage lighter trigger. Now we're gonna go back to 400 yards. We have 3 cans that are painted green, 3 cans that are painted orange. She's gonna start with the 2.5 pound trigger, and we're gonna go for those green targets. We're gonna see how many rounds it takes her to impact them. Hopefully she can hit them all, but we got plenty of ammo, so we'll let her get to shooting, and then we'll see which one wins. All right, there we are. Brooklyn, how'd it go?
Took a while on the last can, but
Not too bad. We're 400 yards. She had to shoot 3 pop cans, so pretty small target. Took her 9 shots. So now we're going to swap back to the lighter trigger. We'll do it again. We'll let the barrel cool a little bit first, and then we'll see if she can beat 9 for 3 impacts.
okay, now we're doing the 400-yard soda cans. I need to hit it in 8 rounds or better to do better than the heavier trigger. Alrighty, so I'm here with the cans I shot. This is with the heavier trigger, these green ones. I did not like shooting these. It was very hard to shoot them. I feel like I kept losing target and it was difficult. I did it in 9 rounds as opposed to this. I did it in 6 rounds. This was with the lighter trigger, which I found much easier to stay on target and find. So yeah, that's 33% better.
All right, here we are. Let's wrap things up. So as you guys saw, we started off shooting groups at 100 yards. We had Brooklyn as our shooter. She was using the heavier trigger to start out. Right here, she showed us a 1-inch group, followed by a 1.23-inch group, followed by a 0.72-inch group. So average 0.98. So pretty good shooting. Not bad at all. That's something to definitely be proud of. Is definitely an acceptable accuracy for a hunting rifle. We then swapped out to the lighter trigger. It was set at about 0.5 pound, and it is a 2-stage versus a single stage. And she went ahead and printed a 0.2-inch group, followed by a 0.11-inch group, followed by a 0.2-inch group. This group was shot by Drew. You can ignore that. But with these 3 groups, Brooklyn was able to average a 0.14-inch group. So not only did we prove that by swapping to a lighter trigger, you can immediately increase your accuracy, we also proved that Brooklyn can just straight up shoot. So excellent work. That's something to be very proud of. After we went ahead and shot the groups, we jumped out to 400 yards. We wanted to push it out a little bit further, but be in a reasonable hunting distance for most people. At 400 yards, we had her put 1 group per trigger on paper. The first one she shot was with the heavy trigger again, and she ended up printing about a 5-inch group or so. So over MOA, kind of correlates with what we saw here. Definitely not bad. But as we switched over to the lighter trigger, she was able to bring that down to about 2.5, maybe 3 inches. We'll measure it, hopefully put it up on the screen for you. But notable improvement once again. So far things are tracking. As we jump out to shooting some cans, we had 3 targets per trigger at 400 yards. The goal was to see how many rounds it would take for her to clean up the targets. We started off with the light trigger, and she was able to do it in 6 rounds. So pretty good shooting. We then switched over to the heavy trigger, and it took her 9 rounds. So again, we see that the lighter trigger just kind of outperformed the heavy trigger, We tried to swap back and forth without making it too annoying to make things fair. But Brooklyn, how did it go on your end?
It went good. I feel like it was a lot more fun to use a lighter trigger, and as far as like accuracy, if I ever went out hunting, I would definitely choose a lighter trigger. But yeah, the whole experiment was very fun, like knowing which data is better, and yeah, I had a lot of fun today.
So there you have it. If you are an experienced shooter, if you're a new shooter, it doesn't really matter. Improving your trigger is going to improve your accuracy. It does come with a cost, but I would say that cost is worth it. The numbers don't lie. It looks pretty clear. That's pretty drastic change. We went from a 2.5 pound trigger today down to about a half-pound trigger. Sometimes a half-pound trigger can be something you don't want to necessarily take into the field if you're wearing heavy gloves. It's too cold. So make sure you don't go too light, or if you do go light, make sure you train. Make sure you have good fundamentals and good safety behavior. But if you have a heavy trigger now, maybe it's worth the upgrade. Let us know what you think. Until next time, plink responsibly.